Yo, it's DaBLackKing, and welcome back. Welcome back to DaBLackKing Plays Final Fantasy VII. This is DaBLackKing. Welcome back to DaBLackKing Plays Final Fantasy VII. Anyway, just in case you couldn't hear me, sometimes I repeat it just in case you can't hear me over the music. Anyway, there's something else I've been meaning to go over, and I noticed I didn't do something. I didn't realize I hadn't got this up to 88 like I should have done as I was reviewing the video, the last one. But anyway, I went out, got some things. I actually didn't think I was going to go out today, but I wound up going anyway, so I'm glad I kind of did. But if you want to know more details, check me out on Facebook. There's more details about what happened there. But anyway, I don't want to repeat it. I will if I have to on an update video, but for right now, okay. Before I continue on and go to where we need to go, this will be a video. I probably will pause it for a day and then kind of, because I do want to catch up more on Voyager since I just got, even though I got through renewing my deal through gift cards because it gives me a little bit of time. So, you know, just to kind of gather up more money and more gift cards over the course of time. But anyway, that's what I intend to do. So anyway. So, the reason I count, if you've noticed recently, because I don't want to lose where I'm at. That's why I count up to the number I need, which is actually 88, not 86. I didn't mean to count up to 86, but I wound up with that. Either way, I can finish off doing that later. Not that I hardly ever use ethers, not that I hardly ever buy them, as much as I've actually played this game. Until a certain point in the game, and that's when I start buying when I can. And there's even turbo ethers I can finally get at some point in the game. I can't remember where we get them. I think we can buy them. Don't quote me on that. But there's one place I think of, and it has to do where a certain character in our party winds up, and we'll go more over that later after certain events. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but it happens. So, and the course of events to this playthrough might be just a little bit more different with Ares because I actually chose Tifa. It's not something I always choose. In fact, I've never even chosen anyone but Ares because I never had a choice. I never really tried to choose anybody. I just wound up, because see, if you try to go on your own, Ares tries to join you automatically. I try not to get anybody. You know, when I showed you earlier. But anyway, I wanted to go over the numbers with you because if you noticed a lot, even when I'm playing Final Fantasy IV, I tend to count. And you're probably wondering why. Well, I forgot to mention the reason why I do that is because, well, not only that, but I don't realize at the time to let you know, but I'm not going to do it every video. So I'm only going to do this one at a time unless I forget. Anyway, I use that as a way to make sure I don't go over the amount that I'm allowing myself, because I don't need no more than 88. I will eventually max out, and that'll be my my course there. Because right now I can use up to about 88, and it saves me for about some overtime there, especially with high potions, anything that I can get 88 of. Although I did max out on getting stuff like this because I was trying to capture a chocobo, and what I typically do is I buy 99 of them anyway, just so I can capture, you know, or not capture, but bait them so I can ride on them. That doesn't sound right at all, either way, but, you know, that's the only reason why I typically do that. That's the only exception I make. Even though I try not to do that. I will, and even so, I mean, they do go down. They will go down because I do use them up. I don't, you know, I know that you can steal them, but, you know, they will go down the more I use them. Anyway, there's a monster that appears with a chocobo that I would like to get that has an enemy skill. So that's another reason why I need Manipulate. I think I can use it on him. I don't remember. Is I know that there's certain enemies I can use it on. I never even noticed that before until I learned it recently. This would be my second time getting it. I still, even my playthrough that I have that's by itself standalone doesn't have all the enemy skills yet. It actually has a lot more than this does. And the reason I'm not showing them off, don't you do that. Don't do that. I love you. Yeah. Anyway. So, anyway, I'm just saying, I mean, you know, it's because I don't want to jump ahead until I've actually gotten to that point. See, once I get to a certain point, I will jump up to the head and we'll already have that. Well, what I will do is show off enemy skills. See, by the time we get through here, we'll probably have about the same, if not a little bit more over. Not a little bit over, but we'll have about the same enemy skills. Because I'm not going to go through the process of just like automatically having them and you never actually see how I got them. That would be silly. So, you know, even though it's sometimes, even if I have to show the same enemy, it's only for certain reasons. Otherwise, I have no reason to show you them more than what I have to, if necessary. There are some enemies that will not show more than twice unless I absolutely have to show that they have enemy skills that I cannot learn for some reason or another. It makes no sense, but there's lots of enemies like that. Anyway, later. Just so you know, I'm now sensing these guys because, well, I was able to get my party together that has sensing material. Now, at one point or another, I will be changing up Barrett's, material slots. And what I've discovered over time itself, from all my past-through experiences of playing this game, it doesn't matter how you set him up, but there are limits because of how much you actually have on hand. So you have to be careful what you put on him, because what you have on hand for slots. So whatever you're going to use, just use it. I wouldn't worry about such things as, oh, I don't have this or I don't have that. If you have to, just sacrifice enemy skills, because a lot of times enemy skills are only useful during the battle anyway, but you're not going to learn anything. And the reason to even have it on there is for twofold. One is to learn enemy skills that are available. Two is so that you can use them, especially of all the creative spells, which I'll go more over that later. So yeah, but I mean, there's also the whole point of no point in putting an all on there unless, of course, you're going to use. Well, actually, no, there's no point at all, because you're only going to go up against one opponent. And besides that, it won't target more than one anyway, if there's only one in the battle. Always has been, always will be that way. I don't know why, but every game I've ever played so far, I've noticed recently. I haven't really noticed it before in the past, because I haven't really been paying attention until now. So anyway, just hate that when there's something on your back. Oh god, that hurts. It hurts. Anyway, it only has one, so there's no point in having all materia. So that saves you on a bit of slots, but it still, you're going to wind up sacrificing something. Also, you want to save before you go up there, somehow or another. Always make sure that you've saved, and there is a resting spot. So, as I've already covered with that truck. So, in case you have to, you can use it if you're running low on supplies. Unlike me right now, because I bought a consortium of them right now that I don't have to worry about that. But I've had to in the past, so I wouldn't understand what you're coming from. Even on emulation, I've had to do that because I didn't have ways to cheat. Not cheat. What's that cheat? Not cheat. But I didn't have ways to actually, Yeah, actually, you know, yes, I did, okay? I've implemented one cheat code, that's it. Yeah, well, I also did another one for other reasons because I felt like, you know, there was no save spot there, and I didn't feel like save stating it in case the damn thing decided to screw up or something. I want to make sure that I had it on the memory card. So yeah, I've unlocked that. But any other skills beyond, well, I might do one more, and that would be Aries, because there's certain events coming up, or I might just leave them off and just like kind of train her as I go along. It really doesn't matter. It won't affect anything, you know. However, I'm just at this time I'm going to decide not to do it. Although the file I have, I think, is already pretty much screwed up there. I might have to just kind of save over what I've got now. I don't know. But I hate to do that because in this file I have a certain summon was a pain in the butt to get. And I did not cheat to get it. I did it legitimately. And believe me, a lot of times, I mean, it doesn't have to be easy. I'm not asking for it to be easy, but I don't want, I mean, I don't mind things being challenging. Don't get me wrong. Things can be challenging all they want to, but I don't like it to the point that it's going to frustrate me to the point I just never want to do that crap again. So, I'll tell you what I'll do. If I can do it without getting frustrated to the point, again, by practicing off screen, then I will take the opportunity to save over that file so that I don't have to go through that crap again, because I honestly do not want to go to the hell idea that where I just never want to do it again. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was interesting. I thought it was. I didn't really hate it in itself. I just hated having to, because the thing is the process, okay? The way you gotta do it. You gotta fight currents in one screen, trying to do it and constantly falling down, which I'll go over that more later. But anyway, I mean, you literally, that whole entire process and then having to start all over, and it's crap. Especially to get to one certain place to get this summon, that you can't get it any other way. So, I mean, I fought this person before, but I never actually, I don't think I did. If I did, I don't remember ever doing it, or I didn't pay attention. But either way, you know, this enemy that I have to fight just to get the summon. Unlike in Final Fantasy VIII, you don't have to steal it, or excuse me, draw it. They don't have to steal in the game. It's about kind of like stealing. But either way, I just wanted to point out that, ow, that hurts. Well, not that, but I want to point out that, you know, that's what I'm going to do off screen. If I can practice it to the point that I'm not going to get frustrated, to the point that I'm not going to want to do it again, because that's how much it frustrated me the first time I actually was able to successfully do it. And I will do it until I can not get frustrated. It might take me some time to practice, but we have a long ways to go before that even happens. So either way, later. Bye-bye. Oh, and apparently they have no weaknesses. So it's a good idea to steal as much as you can, but there is a certain type of enemies I will be going over that you can steal from, even bosses. Yeah, you can steal from them. I don't think there's any in this game particularly, but I could be wrong. So, I can remember, so don't quote me on that, because it's been a long time since, I mean, even where I'm at, I don't even, anyway, later. This is becoming recording on January the 3rd, and if I have to, I will continue it tomorrow. But, you know, later. Well, that was the first time that's ever happened that I can remember. Anyway, an enemy sacrificed itself as I was trying to steal from it. And it didn't successfully go through. But it did go through on this one last target. Anyway, it cured all of us, and yet there was no reason to. I don't believe it actually fully cures us. Actually, it didn't fully, like, you know, restore everything, but it did restore our HP, which was 0, needing of healing. But either way, later. Yet another victim been shot. So here's another thing. Those apes during this game, they are thinking and acting like humans, so they try to steal. They're not like in real life apes, because even though they can steal, you can easily get your stuff back. In this game, yeah, that's the reason why I hate them. You can't even hardly steal from them. If you do, most of the time it's not worth it, and then you can't even hardly get a read with them without them sacrificing themselves and damaging you and taking away the most important critical items. This is another reason why you should save. And even though I hate to say reset your PlayStation, but yeah, you might want to have to do that. And if you're not worried about it, well then don't worry about it. But these are kind of items that you need for now until you can get to a shop that actually sells them. And there will be ones coming up later, but that's too late, like way too far in the game. So right now, it's best you hold on to them and use them sparingly. Because right at this point, like if you see a Megalex or something like that, or Turbo Ether, yeah, those are really rare. Anyway, later. Now, there are death claws in this game that are supposed to teach you enemy skills. I don't know when that's supposed to be, so I'm glad I got it on Cloud, because a lot of majority of the time, Cloud's going to be taking hits and stuff. So that's the reason why I put it on him. Especially because a lot of times you're putting cover on him. I mostly do Barret because I put cure potions on him, but not all the time, so I don't know. I put long range on him, though, because, you know, he does. There's actually another long range, but it's hard to say whether or not I want to put it on him until a certain point of the game. And even then, it's not easy to say whether or not I'll be using him, because, I mean, these two are not my final party members. They, again, they're potential, but either way, there's some new enemies. Deathclaw. Later. Okay, so I just learned an enemy skill from these guys, and they can go down very easily because they put up some defenses. And I just stole something from something, but I don't know what I did. But I'm not gonna go over there to remember. See, what I got was laser. You can learn this from another enemy as well. So I just got through getting that. I meant to show it off, but I just didn't realize what enemy skill it was. The problem with these guys can be very rare to find, and you want to find them now. And see, now I actually have a skill that I don't have in my file yet. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'll be right back. Yeah, you can actually learn laser from Dark Dragon. Dark Dragon also consists of something else. I believe you can manipulate it, but I just learned something else. It looks like you don't need to do that. So, but Dragon Force can be learned from a Dragon. Okay, so that's the second one. The thing of it is that you know, you can find them. Northern Cave, I'm not sure anything about. I've actually tried looking for death claws there. I couldn't find them. There's also a certain someone. See, okay, look at this. Wow. Entire guide right here. See, but most of the time you're going to be using manipulate, except for this one opponent right there with the wings. Looks dark looking like creature. Yeah, Wind Wing. Wind Wing is not something you can use anything on. You have to wait for it to do it. Yes. Another skill that can be also learned from Strevia, I think it is, or whatever. I don't remember. See, there's some skills right here that I'm not trying to, you know, basically spoil for you, but this is a good guide. There are like 2 enemies you can get it from, but you know. See, this boss right here can even use that thing that the Zolom can. There's also material I want to get, but it's very hard to find, and I don't know, like the 4x skill and whatever else. You know, slash all, excuse me. I want to get that material, I just don't know where it's at. I do have a guide, thankfully, that shows me where that can be found. So, you know, which I do recommend using that with Cloud. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down, Cloud, little girl. Anyway, so this is a great guide. I found it on Steam Community, and I didn't even look up on Steam. I just happened to look it up in the Google search for this, for the Final Fantasy VII Anime Guide. Even though this is actually more, I'm not going to say or less, because that's not true. It's actually showing a guild, but it's about the same anyway. For the one that they have on Steam, which is PC. Now the minor difference is you can get mods and stuff like that, like what Negro has and stuff like that. But otherwise, there's not really much difference. So you know. Anyway. Now this is an enemy that I do not like because it can use bad breath. In most games, it's very difficult to get him to use it and be able to survive. Like in Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah. Now there's a creature right there I've never actually encountered in this game. Ever in my life. So, yeah. And unfortunately though, Goblin Island is not available right now. And I wouldn't even know where to begin to find it. I like how they're crossed out where it says Safer Sephiroth boss, but yet they still got the picture up there instead of taking it out. And it's true. If you get to the end of the game and you try to, if you actually learn that, you know, it's not much. This is the enemy I'm looking for. Palinsetta. And there's because of the enemy's skill, and I can't seem to find her. She's supposed to be in the northern cave, and I have yet to find her. Here's something that... Ooh. Here's something else that you cannot use in the version that I'm using. UV warping. It actually only happens to be on PS4 and the Steam version of PC. You can buy. There's separate ones, but there's obviously one you can buy with her. So, yeah. Later. You know, they had the magic shield up. They couldn't do much against that because, well, they were already low on health, for one thing. Now, at some point, I will be upgrading to Limit Break 2 for Cloud, but right now I'm not gonna worry about that. So, I will see you momentarily. Okay, so here's a new enemy that I probably shown off, but here's something I'm gonna do with it. I may be sensing it twice, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and let the other one do it off screen. Be right back. So apparently this thing is weak against cold. I wasn't paying attention the first time I actually summoned it, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and use this because you know, until I get more into the all, which helps out. So let's see what we can steal from this guy. Couldn't steal anything. Well, all right. So yeah, I stole a ether or whatever, and this enemy ran out of MP. And even though that's an enemy skill, that doesn't matter to me. Let's go ahead and use this. Hopefully we'll get the flat chocobo this time. I don't know. Apparently not. But either way. Wow. So we managed to stop that thing. Let's defeat this thing on the screen. You ever notice how Ifrit, as I call him, balls and changes? Yeah. I'm also working on getting Nanaki's level limit break up. So let's do that. And I'm also trying to unlock his secondary deal. I'm not going to use cheat codes for anybody else but Ares, if I ever decide to do that. But I think that this playthrough I'm not going to bother with it. In fact, I know I'm not. Anyway, later. Okay, so I made it, and I'm going to be doing some things off screen here. Be right back. So yeah, I went ahead and updated his materia. I gave him the steal command because I'm not sure if there's anything to be stealing from. And what I'll do is, if there's nothing, I'm going to reload it and put something else there because there's no sense in having it if I can't. There's nothing to steal. When there's nothing to steal, it doesn't give it any AP, so there's not much point. And no matter how much level grinding you may do, it won't do anything unless you're actually able to successfully steal an item. And it gets even higher results the newer the item. Anyway, later. You know, I gotta say though, I actually, where are we? What? Oh, okay, I didn't know we were recording tonight. I like some of these cars, even though they're broke down. That's the only bad part I don't like about them is they're actually broke down. Look at that. Some of these cars are pretty awesome. Anyway, later. There's a new enemy called Bull Motor, and they actually teach you the skill of laser as well. So, anyway, so Deathclaw and them are the only ones that teach you lasers. So you know, but you can actually use manipulate on them. But anyway, later. So yeah, I just got their stealing an X potion from them, which is good. It makes, I think that's the first X potion I got. I don't know. But either way, it helps out my stealing. Alright. Apparently you can also learn... Are we still recording? Yeah, anyway. What is it now? Ooh, cool. Cover is leveled up. Match magic from them, too. So, yeah. I don't think it actually told me that on the enemy skill list. But anyway, later. Now, here's our old favored Dying, where he's kind of limping. You missed that anyway. Alright, see you later. And of course, he shoots Barrett for some reason or another. Ah, that's right. So his wife's name was Eleanor's voice. I mean, Eleanor's voice, that's not it. His wife was Eleanor. And, apparently Eleanor is also the mother of Marlene. Couldn't think of her name for a minute there. But anyway, we don't know about that. See, we didn't even... In the past, as you know, he does have a wife, but it's never actually mentioned anywhere of any time when they actually show the past of Barrett and him. And I forgot that his wife's name is Eleanor. And I believe Barrett's wife's name is Margaret, even though they're characters that are forgotten and they are never discussed. I don't know if they're going to be even mentioned or remotely mentioned in the true remake. When I say true remake, I mean the one that they're getting, if they haven't already released it today. You know. There's that. So, and also, Season 8 is finally premiered on Hulu, so that's another reason why renewed my thing. But that's not the only reason. It's just because I happen to like what they got with them. So anyway, wow. It's kind of sad that her biological parents die. And the only one we ever get to meet dies right before us. And it's dying. Because as you already know, Barrett is not her biological father. Never has been, never will be. But, you know, you don't have to be a biological father to be a father. But, needless to say, you do have to be a biological father if, and only if, you're going to grow them. If you know what I mean. Anyway, I'll see you later. You know what I find odd, though, is that this entire place you can only find one time and that's it. Very strange. Anyway, later. Of course, he was limping again. Look at that. Why is he limping? Maybe because he fell down, I guess? I don't know. I guess his leg never got healed. Anyway. And there it is. The reason we have to fight. See what I mean? That means you and I get a fight. I don't know why they... And of course, this is another boss fight. I think I'll fight him off screen, but what the hell. Apparently he has no weakness. That's the only weapon he has. See you later. And apparently he has nothing to steal. Well, I'll be right back into the fight again because this time I intend to take the enemy skill. Even though it doesn't require any APB, but it does require learning enemy skills. And this guy doesn't have any enemy skills to give us. There are some bosses that we will be fighting that we've either already gotten it or we don't have it already and we'll learn it from him. Either way, later. So yeah, I put the enemy skill on Barrett, and I actually could use or put one more skill in there, but sometimes you can be lucky enough to get another weapon for Barrett or a slot where you can use it, or equipment, but not always. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to get all the material I can in the game. And that's what I'm going to focus on. Now, I'm not going to promise you, 100% game because, again, the chocobo races and the soldiers. So, Anyway, yeah, I went ahead and done it, even though I could have, but then I would have been, again, sacrificing some other magic, which have been, I could have put on either ice or bolt, but then I would have been giving them one or the other. And I want to get as much as I can in all of them, but with all what I got available, Again, steel will not do you any good in a battle. There's nothing to steal. Which means that if you steal from them and it says nothing to steal, you're not going to get any APB for that. Only if you can steal. And again, the newer items, the ones you haven't stolen before, will give you higher AP. Anyway, we're going to finish up this battle, and then we'll head to the chocobo races as normal. And I'll save it there, and then we'll end the game later. Did I say end the game? I mean, we'll end the episode. Oh, and by the way, apparently his HP is 1200. And you know how I could tell that legitimately without going and looking up anything or looking up some kind of code? Because there's no other way to tell. Anyway, I have the sense material. Anyway. And I forget how much. I think he's got 50 MP or something. Not that it always does any good, because sometimes even then they don't use their magic for some reason, or bosses don't. I don't know why, but anyway. See, this is what I mean. This is sad, man. Sad. He has a point. She probably wouldn't remember him anyway. It's kind of odd that Barrett, I don't think he ever does tell her that anything about her true biological father, which kind of it's sad. Any child, no matter who they are, deserves the right to know who their biological parents are, no matter what. Even if they're parents that are not good or fit for them. They should know the truth. It's hard to imagine not having, parents. Now here's a constant thing that they most people even say, that their hands are too stained or too bloodied. Kind of the same thing. I've heard that line even in Gundam Wing or some other kind of thing, to hold their hands, to have that. It's not just about carrying them, but too stained with blood to even do things. Anyway, later. Now here's something I don't understand. He gives you a pendant, but we use it to go up somewhere. Wow. I think it's odd that when you never give the pendant, if we do, they never show it or anything like that, giving it to Marlene. Or rather, I should say more like specifically, if you want to get specifically technical, Barrett, because he asked Barrett, not really us, to do it. And anyway, because I guess it would signify her knowing, which I guess she never knows, or if she does, there's never really anything said wise. Anyway, later. Damn, Marlene's already 4. In Vagrant Children, she's a lot older than that. I think she's about either 20 or maybe 18. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it was, but I know that she was even older than that. I mean, damn. To think so many years have actually passed, and she's that much older than Innocent Children. Even though that kind of story didn't hardly make much sense to me, because the way it rolled out was okay, you had Cloud kind of taking over from the point before he solved everything to save the planet, which in this game happens. Anyway, later. So once again, he falls down, and that's just crazy. So, in Aang Advent Children, the one that makes Darling cry or upset is Cloud. I don't mean to spoil anything for you, but there you go. Yep. I think that's pretty messed up. We're giving him the pendant. I gotta like that how they said, you must have killed Dine. Well, I guess in a sense, we did kill him. If you want to get technical. I mean, not really in the sense that we just shot him or whatever. But, you know, we actually damaged him, and even though he was already pretty much badly wounded. So, and he fell off the cliff there. But, I mean, it's also both technical to say that, logically speaking, we didn't actually kill him, but it's like in a way we did. Anyway, see you later. Now here's something in the game that you'll never see ever again. Him actually holding someone with his hand, and although actually that almost looks like as if he's holding him with his gun arm. Anyway, but it's not. I gotta like that. Always leaving it up to Cloud. Cloud's always gotta be the one that actually goes up. That's another one of those things that always gets me instead of anybody else. But of course, that's just the way the game is programmed. I mean, it doesn't really upset me or anything, but it's just, you know, the way things go. Anyway, and just so you know, she becomes our permanent manager, which helps out in the long run to at least have a manager. And we'll go more over that way later. And that's when it'll happen anyways. Way later. It's like a lot of other things. We'll have to go way later. I gotta like how there's like so much dialogue that happens while you're flying up the elevator. And you can just sit there and just have this going on. The elevator won't move. But if you want to move on and continue online, you have to do this. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you don't have to do that. You just read. Alright. Yeah, now it's starting to move. Alright. And see, the thing is, though, is that, you know, anyway, so, yeah. It started losing on its own anyway. When it comes to chocobos, when they do these kind of races, I generally, the first part of the game, I generally tend to either go in the favor of what it's already selected, or I take over at some point or something or whatever, because sometimes it can happen, you can win, but not always. It's like the percent rate chance of actually winning successfully in these is very difficult. It's a 1% chance to maybe a 9 or an 8 point, no, maybe a 7.5 chance, if I had to guess, because based on my prior experience of even doing this, I'm not saying I'm very good at this. This is another reason why I'm not really good at chocobo races in general. This is why I can't 100% this game. The main last resolving thing that's hanging me up here, even though at this point in the game it doesn't really matter, but it does matter if you want to continue on. There is no game overs, but it will keep repeating itself until you actually finally manage to do it. I have done that. I have even won the race in one shot. And sometimes I did it in two, and sometimes it took me a while, and oh my god, you would not believe, because that's how aggravating and frustrating this race is. It's actually a part of the main storyline. The summon that I want to get, even though it's as as it is not part of the main storyline. Actually, a lot of the summons we get are not. Anyway, later. That guy right there standing against the deal, do not race him ever. Unless you're prepared to actually have more practice at it. Because you need a lot of practice. I've never been able to beat that guy. And there's something flashing on the ground I will be getting. According to him, he's Joe, but they call him Black. Which is not right either. But anyway. So, and he does have a black chocobo. I mean, a dark chocobo. Whatever. Anyway, so, to continue on, we could talk to the guys right there, but they never let us talk to them. We could talk to that guy, at least. But, see, with Joe, this is the reason why I'm saying, it's not only just that, but the hardest of all when it comes to chocobo racing, no matter whether it's now or later, which actually, it won't happen until later anyway, when you're going up against this guy, there is a random luck chance. And it's only a 1 to 2% ratio that you'll actually have to race this guy in the beginner course, which this is the beginner course. You know, for you to actually be riding a chocobo. To kind of get the lowdown, the shake on, to actually be able to do it, so that you can continue on the storyline. Anyway, later. Okay, so what did you do down there? Not supposed to ask that? Don't you mean like, what did you do to get down there? Wouldn't that have made more sense? I would have thought that would have made more sense there. I guess there is no save point at this point. But, yeah. I guess I could save state or use a, like a saves crystal or whatever just to save at this point. And I think I will. Anyway, later. Never mind, he's walking off, so we can't really talk to him. Anyway, she's gonna go get a chocobo. And unfortunately, though, if I do make this chocobo race, this is not guaranteed. So, and you wonder why I don't show it on screen. If I can show it on screen that I'm actually going to win, then that's when I'll do it, because it's important that we get first place. That's how this actually works. In any other point in the game, when you actually do the chocobo racing, it really won't make much difference as long as you're not below third ranking, because you don't hardly get any prizes unless you bid on it, which is kind of crazy, but that's why this actually rolls. So, later. Now, I can't go into the menu right now, so I guess I will save state. And we will see you all in the next episode of DaBLackKing Plays Final Fantasy VII, which will be tomorrow. Later.